What's cracking my peoples? What's cracking my peeps? It's your boy, DJ G Ski Rocks here, Dialysis and the DJ. I had to make this video to clear up a lot of the confusion out there in regards to the government shutdown. Now, I'm going to be talking fast because I don't want this video to be long. There's a lot of information that I need to get in. So let's get to it. Now, I need you to understand, I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I stand on God and what the scriptures say. The problem that we're having right now here in America is that the majority of Americans don't want to do their homework and they decide they want to listen to a politician. A politician has a tendency to lie. Now, everything that I'm telling you, you can verify by going to congress.gov. Congress.gov. Now, I want to clear up some confusion going on. But before we do that, let me take you back to school real quick. According to the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 7, any revenue generating bill must come out of the House of Representatives. What does that mean? Let's break down the House of Representatives so you can get a clear understanding of what's going on. Right now, in the House of Representatives, there are 219 Republicans versus 214 Democrats. There are 2 vacancies because 2 people passed away and they haven't been replaced yet. It takes 218 votes in order for a bill to pass in the House of Representatives. What does that mean? That means that the Republicans do not need one single Democrat vote in order to pass something in the House of Representatives. I need you to remember that. That's important. The bill in question, remember, you can go to congress.gov to verify what I'm saying. And I suggest that you do that. Don't believe me. You can go there and check out all the actions on this bill. The bill in question is H.R. 5371. H.R. 5371. Remember that. Go to congress.gov to check out all the actions on that bill. That bill passed in the House of Representatives on September 19th at 10:44 a.m. September 19th is also my mother's birthday. Rest in peace, Mom. I'll see you on the other side. So that bill passed. They called it what they call a clean bill, meaning there was nothing in that bill that didn't have anything to do with keeping the government open. They passed that bill to the Senate. According to the Constitution, the Senate can then add on to that bill. That is called a continuing resolution. They can add on to that bill. This is what's happening. Let me break down the Senate so you can get an understanding of what's going on in the Senate. Right now, in the Senate, there are 53 Republicans, 45 Democrats, 2 independents. These 2 independents usually caucus with the Democrats, meaning there's pretty much 47 Democrats for a total of 100, right? Now, a continuing resolution requires 60 votes. They call it a supermajority in order to pass, meaning that the Republicans need Democrats to get on board in order to pass a bill out of the Senate. The problem that we're having right now is the Democrats refuse to get on board unless the monies, the projects that they added to the bill through the CR gets passed. The Democrats have added on an additional $1.5 trillion to H.R. 5371 via the continuing resolution. $5 billion of that goes towards international projects, something that has absolutely nothing to do with keeping the government open. Now, I'm going to go over a few of these just to let you know what's going on. Like I said, $5 billion towards international projects. Some of these international projects are as follows: $13.4 million towards civic engagement in Zimbabwe. What that has to do with keeping the government open, I do not know. $2.9 million towards desert locust risk reduction in the Horn of Africa. What that has to do with keeping the government open, I have no idea. $2 million towards feminist democratic principles in Africa. I don't know what that has to do with keeping the government open. I just don't know. $24.6 million to climate resiliency in the Honduras. What that has to do with keeping the government open, I do not know. $3.9 million towards LGBTQI plus democracy generated grants in the West Balkans. I don't know what that has to do with keeping the government open. Now, remember, there's $5 billion towards international projects. I can't continue to go on with this list because it's $5 billion. That's a lot of moolah. But what is going on right now is the Democrats are standing 10 toes down on this $1.5 trillion additional funding, $5 billion of that towards international projects. They're standing 10 toes down on getting this stuff because they understand right now that they can blame the Republicans because currently the House of Representatives has a majority of Republicans. The Senate has a majority of Republicans. And of course, a Republican controls the White House right now. So they have a trifecta. But the problem is, in the Senate, it is required for 60 votes to pass in the Senate. So they need they need Democrats in order to pass this bill. And the Democrats aren't budging on this 1.5 trillion additional dollars. The biggest thing I need you to understand, according to the Constitution, Congress's pay is guaranteed. So while you are suffering, and remember, SNAP benefits ends on Saturday. Today is October 29th. As of today, there has been 13 attempts to pass this bill, 13 failures, because the Democrats will not budge. And they're telling you that they're doing it because of health care. They want health care. One of the things that they're not telling you is that a large portion of this health care money is going towards medical benefits for illegal immigrants. Now, I don't know where you stand on that. That's either or. But remember, there is $5 billion towards international projects that has absolutely nothing to do with keeping the government open. And the Democrats are standing 10 toes down on this. And they're not budging because their pay is guaranteed. So they're okay at keeping the government shut down because they will continue to get paid according to the U.S. Constitution while every American is suffering. So that is what I want you to understand. And on that note, I am out of here. I need you guys to follow me on all social media platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube. I am G Ski Rocks on all social media platforms. That is GSKIROCKS. Remember, folks, I love you. And keep in contact because I'm bringing the podcast back and the podcast is going to be fire. On that note, peace and love, and I am out of here.